Tell me about your family, the Kurgay family. How long have you all lived in Utah? Were you born here?
Actually, I was born in, I think, Delaware. I still get confused sometimes because, like, during the time I was getting born, we were moving from Utah to Delaware to Utah to Delaware. There's all kinds of moving going on. But I was born in Delaware. I lived there for about like a year, maybe less. Parents never really told me much. It's just another story. But then we came here, and I've grown up in Utah my whole life.
Where are your parents from?
Well, my mom is from Iraq. She lived there. She grew up there and here. Apparently back then you can go back and forth with some ease. I still don't believe it, but she told me there's no such thing as like airport security. I'm like, what are you talking about? What do you mean there was no scanners? And she's like, yeah, there was never one of those before. Anyways, that was news to me.
Because your whole life it's been.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never not seen the scanners and whatnot, metal detectors.
Yeah.
And my dad is Kurdish, but he was born here. His dad, though, my grandpa, was Kurdish, came from over from Kurdistan, started a family here. And it was kind of interesting because my dad grew up like half and half. He was like half Muslim, half Christian. So they had Christmas and Eid. And he got all kinds of presents. He keeps telling us about that. His mom was American. Anyways, but some fun stories there.
And do you have siblings?
Yeah, I have one older sister and one younger brother.
So, is your family fairly involved in your faith?
Mm-hmm. Yep. I've been Muslim all my life. Since day one. Go to the church every Friday. And so forth. The usual.
Mm-hmm. Pray 5 times a day.
Yep.
And and that's always been in your family?
Yep. Never been anything different.
So, tell me about 9/11. Do you have any memory of that day?
I do. I remember teacher got like a phone call in the room. She told everyone, okay, everyone stop what you're doing. And there was like a little TV in the corner. Everyone stopped. And she's like, all right, turn the TV on. And then we had the news report. Building had, plane hit the building, collapsed, people going crazy. So the teacher's like, all right, everyone, call it a wrap. If you have any relatives you want to call, I'm going to go home early. And everything was in an uproar throughout the school. So that's what I remember from that.
And at that time, did you feel singled out at all for being Muslim, or did other kids know anything about it?
Well, being 7, I didn't quite understand why would it, I was like, alright, something's going on the TV. I was still, coloring or whatnot, the assignment.
Right.
And at first I didn't know exactly what had happened until I got home. My parents are explaining to me, saying it's Muslims, so forth.
What did they tell you it's Muslims?
Well, they said, the news said, they're blaming it on the Muslims or something, because the guy, terrorist or whatnot. I didn't know exactly what was going on, but then that's what everyone was saying at the time, I suppose.
And, when did you first hear that the main mastermind had your same name, Osama?
I think it was the next day or the day after, because everyone was passing me. Oh, hey, Osama bin Laden, Osama bin Laden. Kids, I don't even know any of the kids who were talking to me. I only knew a few kids in my classroom, but apparently the whole school, my name got passed around pretty quick. So
what
everyone
school
in the halls.
Did you go to?
Ridgecrest Elementary. It's actually just down the street a little bit.
Uh-huh. And what grade were you in?
I think it was 2nd or 3rd grade. I don't know, what's it, 12? Second grade. That's what
So, how did you feel when people were sort of saying your name and...
Well, as you can imagine, I didn't like it. People were making fun of me, alienating me, and then I started to make friends after that. Everyone kind of kept their distance, and actually it was in 5th grade I made friends with my current best friend today, and he was just talking to me yesterday about it. He's like, when I first met you, I was like, whoa, this kid must be a terrorist. Oh, this is so strange, I don't know if I should talk to him. And I was like, what, you thought that? And he goes, yeah, but I was little, I don't know what I was talking about then. I was like, well, that's strange. I guess maybe that's what kids thought at the time as well. besides him, and so forth.
So people thought you might be a terrorist. Can you think of some other things they might have said to you? Or can you remember some?
Well, it was just like, Osama bin Laden, why are you blowing up things? Kind of bantering. I don't really remember any swears going on, like cusses or anything, but mainly just the name, or spin-offs of the name. I don't quite remember, but...
Did you feel picked on?
Yes, definitely.
And did you feel...
I got bullied, actually. I remembered some bullies during 1 through 6.
Like, can you say what sort of bullying?
Well, like at recess, we were going out one day. I remember this one kid, he must have been like a 6th grader. Everyone knows 6th graders are bullies, but he was coming around, I think it was still in 6th grade. And I was just trying to play, like, wall ball, and he was pushing me around. Hey, what are you doing? Oh, what are you doing this for? And I was trying to run away, and he was chasing after me. It's like, oh, what's going on, teacher? And there's a, what do they call it? Little aides of people who are, like, watching the kids. Ran over there, and the kid backed off, and I was like, oh, that's close. Probably should avoid this kid. That was one thing. And then walking home, too. One time, I actually got in a fight when I was in 7th grade. And during that time, I was a little older, I was starting to toughen up, started bodybuilding. Had some muscle. But I didn't want to do any fighting at the time, but like, it was just over there. There was 3 kids, and they were just all making fun of me, and I was like, what, you guys want to go? What? And then they started fighting, and he punched me in the face, but I got him back. It wasn't too big a deal. So I was, by then I was pretty tired of, like, people, you know, because from 2nd grade all the way up to, like, 7th even, people were saying, oh, Osama bin Laden, like, it's not till basically now that it finally wear off. And the guy's dead now, so I should probably tone things down. Like, I was thinking in the senior year, I'll just go back to my old name. I've been going by Eric for the past couple of years. Just so that way, makes things a lot easier when I transfer to Brighton from Beehive. Anyways.
When did you decide? Let's go back to elementary school first.
Right.
Did you feel that the bullying was partly because of your name?
Probably all because of my name. If like my name was Eric, then they probably wouldn't even notice. Like, nobody knew I was Muslim. I was just any other kid.
Oh, they didn't know you were Muslim.
I don't know. I was just going to school like everyone else. It's like, you know, little kids be like, hey, what religion are you? I'm like, what? My name's Eric. My favorite color is blue. Usual, but yeah, because my name kind of stuck out, so probably was one of the main causes.
And so, how old were you when you decided to go by Eric, and how'd you pick Eric?
I don't know, it was, I think, 8th grade, going on to, yeah, 8th grade. From 6th grade, I went to Beehive instead of going to Butler, like everyone else from Ridgecrest went to. And I was there, and I made a few more friends.
You went there instead of going to the one you should, and
yeah.
Was it partly because of this, or?
Kind of, yeah, it was some influence. Oslo, the school had supposedly Muslim teachers and whatnot, but it was sad because they didn't know what they were doing, because they were not real teachers. Anyways, so 7th and 10th grade, made some friends, and then I was going to transfer back to Butler for 9th grade, since the freshman year is at Brighton. And I was talking to my friends, I was like, well, you know what, guys, I think I'm just going to play it safe this time. I'm going to change my name to Eric, right? And then everyone's like, really, Eric? No, and other kids are giving me, you know, wall-balling ideas off the thing, like, oh, what about Bryce? What about this? I was like, no, I kind of like Eric. Sounds like a knight's name from, like, medieval times or something. So, like, alright. And then next year I went to 9th grade. Before the class started, I was like, hey, teacher, on my roll, can you change it to Eric? Just fix that now. And then from then on, I was known to Eric as Eric.
So you didn't officially change it, you just went by that.
Yeah, like, I didn't sign up, register next year under Eric. So all the roles still had, you know, Osama. So, at the beginning of each trimester and year, I'd be like, alright, let's go to the classes early, until everyone knows me.
Huh. And so did that help eliminate some of the bullying?
Yeah. Helped. There was no more of that, like, hey, what's your name? Osama. I'm gonna go talk to somebody else now, or kind of thing. It was a lot easier just to start a conversation and everything, like, because that's usually I start off, what's your name? Well, my name's Kate, my name's Eric, so forth. A lot easier to strike a conversation. No more kind of, anyone giving me the eye or bullies coming around. But anyways. For the record, I don't get bullied anymore.
Sure. And so, why go back to it?
Well, I was thinking that it's been enough time from when it happened to now. People are more respectful and mature. I'm not around like little kids anymore. People are all adults, 17, 18, kind of your old crowd. So I thought, well, I'll just go back. Enough of this Eric thing. Just back to normal. Kind of.
Do you feel a little... Did the death of Bin Laden have anything to do with it?
Well, actually, that was a surprise. I remember that, like, around that time, too, I was considering maybe going back. And then I saw on the news, and I was just like, okay, his name's everywhere again. And I was thinking about, oh, maybe not anymore, because that just refreshes everyone's memory. Oh, yeah, I remember that guy. He did this, this, and this. And I was like, well, maybe I'll give it some more time. So, senior year. That was, like, 6 months ago, wasn't it? Yeah, about?
Well, yeah. In the spring.
Right, so, yeah, that's why I wanted to go back now. I thought, alright, that's no more time. Nobody seems to care anymore. It's just like 9/11. I mean, if you had families that were hurt or anything, you'd still remember them more. Oh, it's the anniversary. But I was like, most kids, they don't quite remember anymore.
And are you proud of your Muslim identity? Do people know at school now that you're Muslim or no?
Not really.
So if you go by Osama, that's
probably
going to be a more clear signal.
Yeah. Most likely. Like, some of my friends know, but it's not something I usually bring up. Like, I was fasting this last month. People are like, oh, you're fasting? I was like, yeah. And they're like, oh, you're Muslim then? I'm like, yes, I'm Muslim. Like, oh, wow, that's really tough. How does that work? And he always asks you, sunrise, sunset. It's like the usual drill, and explaining it to people. Anyways.
Why don't you tell people more?
Well,
are you...
I don't know. I wouldn't go around with like a flag. Everyone, I'm Muslim. Now you know. It's just like if you're talking to someone and this happens to come up, they'll be like, oh yeah, sure, I'm Muslim. You Mormon? Oh, alright, cool. It's nice. Like, my best friend's Mormon. It's nice.
So, what about your friends at the mosque? Do you have some friends at the mosque?
Yeah.
I mean, do you guys feel at all, well, how do you feel about America these days? And
well, I am American, so...
Do you feel that Muslims as a group have been persecuted after 9/11 or mistreated, misunderstood?
Definitely. Like, after the actual incident, there was the beatings in colleges and, what was it? I don't remember much. I was just learning about it the other week. My family was talking about it again. I didn't even know at the time that that's what happened, but yeah, sure. They were made fun of, beaten. I don't know if anyone died. I don't really know about that, but yeah, that's pretty bad.
So, how does it make you? Do you think it contributes to your being quiet about being Muslim? You're not like you're afraid anymore of being beaten up, but just how other people look at Muslims?
I don't know. It's not too bad, I guess. I'm not sure how to answer that.
What do you think about the people who perpetrated the attacks on the World Trade Center?
Well, for one, in the Muslim community, we don't really even view them as Muslim, because, like, things they do obviously go against Islam to, like, pretty extreme. I was talking to my friend, and my friend's like, oh yeah, I know what you mean. We got, like, people call them Jack Mormons. When they say they're Mormon, where they do all kinds of things that are obviously not following the religion, and I was like, yeah, exactly. See, that's how this guy is, Saddam and Osama bin Laden. They're basically just Jack. They say they're Muslim, but obviously, by their actions, they are not. So, kind of how we view them.
Mm-hmm. And do you feel that other Americans, who understand your faith, or is there still, what would you say in your lifetime you've experienced sort of like false ideas or dumb ideas about your faith.
Yeah, people don't like. I mean, we have religion class, you know, world religions in 8th, 9th grade, but you know, I was even in that class. I was like, trying to explain to the teacher when we were going over Islam. I was like, all right, teacher, like there's some errors in your little PowerPoint here. First of all, this and this isn't true, and you can't have any pictures of the Prophet because that's not him anyways, and there was never any drawings or anything made. And
did she try to show? She was a woman. Yeah. And she tried to show photos or drawings of Muhammad?
Because she didn't know. She said she was going off like this textbook. She's like, oh, well, in here. And I was like, yeah, it's not true. And she's like, okay. And she was like going in and she was editing things. And she's like, all right, next period I'll make sure that it's all fixed. And I was like, all right, thank you. Because, you know, she didn't quite know. She's doing her best. She was, I think, a new teacher that year. So helping her out.
Were there other Muslims in your school?
Nope. I don't know any other ones. It's just me. All the way up until now, actually. There's Imran, one of my Muslim friends from the mosque. He just came to Brighton this year, and I was like, oh, hey, cool. That's one Muslim friend. And there was no one else in my like age group or any other time. Just this year.
Wow. So, kind of alone, huh?
Yep. Very much alone.
Huh. People ask you very much, other than Ramadan, about your faith, or?
Well, sometimes if they're, you know, if they're my friends and they know I'm Muslim, they're like, hey, what do you know, about this situation? How does this go about? And I'll explain to them, you know, Islamically what would happen in that situation or what would happen, or different points of view.
How do you find, can you find a place at school to pray? Do you do that?
During school?
Or do you do the 5 other times not at school?
Well,
aren't you supposed to do like lunch or something?
Yeah, well, as it is, the timings of them, I can pray after school. Like, I won't miss any prayers. When school ends, like after school ends, I can go home and I'll pray and I'll still make it. But during 7th and 8th grade, there wasn't enough time to go home, so yeah, I did pray in school. I just told the teacher, I was like, okay, I'm gonna go for, like, the teacher, you know, like, little, you know, before class is like, alright, well, so every day at this time, I'm gonna have to leave class for a little bit, come back, and she's like, oh, alright, like, the teacher's understood. So I'd leave and I'd pray and I'd come back.
Where'd you go?
Teacher's lounge. May have, you know, those student machines in there are significantly cheaper than the ones offered to everyone else, so I bought some of those, just saying. It was kind of them to let me in though, because it's always locked. I'm like, here's the key. I was like, oh, the key, interesting. I'd go and I'd give it back. It was all right.
So, how have your parents talked to you very much about 9/11 and how their life was different? You said obviously your mom said there didn't used to be all the security and all that stuff at the airport, but
yeah, I had no idea.
What else how else have they felt their lives have changed or have talked to you about it?
You know, I'm not sure. They haven't really told me anything. Like, nobody, like, my dad looks pretty American, so he didn't have any trouble. My mom going around with a scarf, she hasn't really told me. She always keeps it kind of to herself. But I'm pretty sure people might have given her the eye, or, oh, who's that? There's a Muslim over there, kind of thing, like, after it happened. So, I'm not sure if anyone yelled at her or anything. She's too little. She probably wouldn't have told me if something did happen at the time. But, you know, I've never asked since then, so I wouldn't know.
What did they think about all the bullying? And did they ever call you Eric at home?
No. Always at home, it's Usama. Everywhere else, it's Eric. And it is kind of interesting sometimes when I have friends from school and I have my close friends in the neighborhood who know me by Usama. And like, when they talk to each other, like, oh, hey, Eric, and hey, Usama, like, what? What's Usama? And I'm like, oh, wait, hey, Mike, remember, it's Eric with these folks. It's like, oh yeah, Eric, yeah. Alright, let's play football now. And I was like, oh, okay. Remember's right. Gotta clarify it to my friends because they still call me Usama. Other people call me Eric. Anyways.
So, really, why go back to it?
Well, I don't know. Like, it's my real name. I'd like to be called by that again, not having to worry about anything. Kind of worn out the name Eric. So, I don't know. I feel like going back because like I'm gonna graduate this year, go to college. I was like, let's just start out as Usama. No more Eric business.
Could it be also that you're sort of growing into your faith a little more part of you? Or, I mean, not that it ever wasn't, but more willing to own it in public?
Yeah, you could say that. Sure.
Well, let me not put words in your mouth here.
I'm not sure how to really answer that. Like, I don't know. I just thought it was. Not sure.
Just time.
Just time, I guess.
It's time to do it.
It's time to go back. So, you know, it's my heritage, my real name. Didn't want to be by Eric for the rest of my life. That's kind of weird.
Yeah.
Yes.
Huh. So, anything else about 9/11? Are you... People at the mosque talk about it together?
No.
No?
We got so many other things going on with them. Like, you know, someone in the family is sick, or this family would like to say this and this and this. So, okay, we're going to have iftar on this day provided by this family. It's just like local kind of things. Nobody really talks about, you know, 9/11 anymore. Just usual.
Do you think the anniversary will arouse some feelings?
Probably, actually. If anyone, you know, lost any family members or was affected in it, definitely remember.
Can't think of anything else to ask you, really, Eric. I almost called you Eric. Osama.
Yep.
How do you say it? You say your name.
I was about to say, yeah, the pronunciation. It's Usama.
Usama. And is it
Yep.
O or U?
It's spelt with an O.
Like Bin Laden is
Yeah,
spelled?
just like Osama.
And do you have a middle name?
Well, not like an official one, but usually it's just my father's name, which would be Ahmed. That's his first name.
A-H?
Yep, M-E-D. That is one thing, though, the pronunciation's like, I'd always joke about that with my friends. Because, like, whenever the news came on, they'd talk about Muslims or Islam, they'd say Islam, Muslims. I'm like, it's pronounced Islam. There's no letter Z in there. And my mom was like, well, see, in the English language, the way that sounds out. And I'm like, what? Come on, can't one person just tell them and they get it right from now on? I always joked about that because, like, every time it's just like, not one person. Islam is an S. Anyways.
Islam.
Yeah, and then Muslim.
Muslim. And say your name.
Usama.
Usama.
Yep. Like an U with the O.
Uh-huh.
And then Sama.
And is that a common name, Iraq name? I mean, it's Arabic?
It's yeah, it's be considered like a Muslim name.
Yeah.
Because like in their religion, there's like, you know, there's a large variety of names, but in our religion, every name actually has a meaning. There's no just names for name's sake. Like mine, for example, apparently means lion on the prowl. And I was asking my grandpa, I was like, well, what do you mean that's what it means? He goes, well, you know, there's actually like 40 different names for lion. That's just one of them. There's like lion about to do jump, lion hiding around, lion running, and I was like, okay. But yeah, I know like one other guy actually. I know his name was Osama, and then someone, my cousin and family in Virginia. I know a couple of Sams over there. I mean, it's a Muslim name. It goes around.
Any other ones you know in Utah?
Nope. Just me and one adult that's doing his own thing up in, I think, Tooele. That's about it.
How'd your family feel when you started being called Eric and people called the house asking for Eric?
Yeah. At first, my family was like, what is going on here? Who's Eric? Like, even on like Facebook and things, I changed to Eric. My family on there was like, what? Who's Eric Kurgay? I don't know I had any family member named Eric. And I was like, hey, everyone, okay, it's me, Osama. Go by Eric now. So everyone thought it was strange, but then I'd explain to them, you know, going to a new school, like a clean start. I wouldn't have any chance of bullying or getting picked on at all. So that usually happens if people find out your name. So it passes around pretty fast, surprisingly enough. But they didn't have too extreme of views.
So they were okay with you doing it, and they kind of understood, obviously.
Yeah, they understood. They didn't mind all too much. They're like, all right, well, that kind of makes sense. You're gonna go back later, right? And I was like, well, eventually.
Oh, did they want you to go back?
Yes, actually. I forgot to mention that, but a little bit.
So are they pleased?
Well, I don't know. Probably pretty neutral about it, I'd say. And they're like, oh, goody, he went back. Glad he's not being called Eric anymore when his name was this, or Osama. So, I think you say that, please.
What about those kids that were in junior high with you? What did they think?
Well, that's
or even high school. I guess you're just doing it now, right?
Yeah.
So what did they... Were some of them surprised that that was your real name?
Yeah, they're pretty surprised. They're like, what? Your name's Osama? Or they'd say Osama, but no, it's Usama. All of you know me, can you get it right, please?
Yeah. But were they surprised by that?
Yeah, I think they were pretty surprised because the whole time they know me as Eric, and they had no idea like I switched my name or anything. Or that like most of my friends that didn't know I was Muslim. Then they knew I was Muslim after. I'm like, what? Does that mean you're Muslim? I'm like, yes, it does.
So you're kind of coming out, so to speak, in two ways. You're changing your name, and oh, by the way, that does mean I'm Muslim.
Right. Yeah, if you didn't know before.
If they didn't know.
Yeah.
And did anybody reject you after that? Anybody who was your friend sort of back away?
No. At the time, everyone was old enough. Like, I hoped. So, that was good.
So, because you just barely did it this year, right?
Yep.
Like, in the last few weeks.
Yep, school week started 2 weeks ago.
Wow. Huh.
Also, I mean, I don't know if it's part of the story, but like, this is also the reason, like, because I got picked on so much. I don't know if my aunt told you, because she was telling me on the phone, maybe that's why you got that tough guy attitude. And I'm like, well, I don't really think of myself as having a tough guy attitude, but it is why I started weight training and bodybuilding, getting stronger. Now I feel when everyone thinks twice before, trying to make fun of someone that'll easily crush them, so to speak.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I used to get made fun of a lot. Like, not anymore, though. You don't make fun of someone who's bigger than you these days. It's kind of funny because, like, the football coach keeps telling me, why don't you join the football team? The football team, we'd love to have you. No, not during high school. That's too crazy. But, anyways.
Are you thinking of going to college?
Of course, of course.
And
head on over to the U.
You think you'll go to the U?
Yep, join MSA.
What's
Do my part? MSA?
Oh, Muslim Student Association, sorry. Yeah.
Yep.
And that'd probably be nice for you to actually have some Muslim friends at school with you.
That's true.
Because you never have had that.
Like, it's strange. I always tell my mom, like, we had Eid, and, like, everyone goes to Eid prayer, and they're, like, tons of Muslim. I'm like, where are all these people coming from? I'm like, Mom, they're like, I don't see anyone with, like, a scarf. No, there's a whole bunch of, like, where are these people hiding? My mom's like, yep. It's like, come Eid prayer, everyone comes together, and, like, now you know how really, like, the population is of Muslims. Like, that's so strange, because I don't see anyone. It's just basically me, and now it's my buddy Imran's going to Brighton, so that's strange. Usually it's just, just lone kind of thing by myself.